Okay, your prevention plan. Lesson 12 is the culmination of every single lesson in the course up to this time. One of the things that we've been getting, and that we very typically get when we're walking people through lifestyle change, is that this is overwhelming. Is all of this information, it's touching every corner of our lives. And I don't know about any of you, but most people aren't able to stop the rest of their life to go through a course like this. This actually is on top of everything else. It's something that had to wiggle its way into your already busy and full schedule. So it can get overwhelming. And what I want to make sure of is that Lesson 12 helps to put it all in perspective, kind of take this hurricane of information, set it down, lay it out, and step by step put it in order. So that after tonight, if you've had confusion or if you've had, anxiety over this, that you can settle down, let it get set into your life, however it needs to set into your life. You'll be able to choose what areas you put focus on to begin with, and then you can start acting. One thing that I want to say before we get going is there is nothing wrong with the fact that you didn't know this information before you came here. It's okay that you've been causing your own health problems up to this point. That's a truth that we've all had to face at one point in time in our life, is that the health problems that we're experiencing, for the vast majority of us, we have been causing them through our lifestyle, through our behavior, through our thoughts. Now is the time when you can take responsibility, you can take that power, and you can start to use it. The worst thing that you could do is to now know it and not do anything with it. Now you can impact not only your life, but the life of others around you. And you can see healing, and you can see health improvement, and you can see people living life with vitality based on what you've learned. Okay? So let's talk about application. Let's get going on this. So, setting up your ultimate health goals. What do you want to do with your life and your health? What is it that you want? We've been asking this question a lot. And I think the reason that we've asked it a lot is because even when you're asked something a couple different times, sometimes either the answer will change, what you thought you wanted in the beginning of the course. Maybe you've already gotten some of those results and new goals have come up. I would expect that your life will be that moving target. And that is exactly the way it's supposed to be, is we're supposed to be lifelong learners. So we want to set up our goals and realize that they're going to change. It's also very, very important to know what you want, because if you don't know what you want, you will never accomplish anything in your health if you don't know what it is that you want in your health, because there's no way you'll be able to set up the types of things that need to be in order for you to accomplish it. All right? So it's important to know what you want when you're beginning any type of process. You wouldn't begin a trip without a destination in mind. The journey of your health is not one that can go without a defined destination. You must have a defined destination, and it is okay for that destination to change. Because for many of you, you'll be surprised how quick you'll actually get to your destination. You'll have health goals that you will nail down in weeks' time, and if not weeks, months. And you'll get there and you'll be like, well, this is great. What next? So you'll move on to the next health goal that you have. You can either choose life or you'll suffer the consequences of not planning at all. It has to be a choice, especially in this climate right now. In this time in history, we have to make a conscious choice of we are either going to choose life or we're just going to go with the flow. And we've all seen what the flow is producing, right? We've seen what most people are experiencing. We see that we are popping more antidepressants than any other country on the face of the planet, that our children are being drugged more than any other group of children in the world. And that, as we've talked about before, isn't acceptable to those of us in this room. Okay? So not planning at all or going with the flow will result in health that is something less than God intended for our health. I think we all can agree with that. Always remember, your body was made with incredible intelligence and is capable of amazing things as long as you're alive. As long as you're upright and taking in air, your body is capable of things that you never dreamed of. This journal is something that you all received when you started this course, and we haven't talked about it up until this point. The reason is because now the journal is important because of application purposes. So even if you don't have your journal with you today, we're going to go through how to use it and how it can be a resource for you on a day-to-day basis. Okay? The first section actually shows all the core principles that we're going through tonight. Each one of the 12 core principles that this course is built on. This is a very good reminder on a day-to-day basis if you're faced with challenges or you have things come up that seem to be roadblocks for you. This is a wonderful way to pull it out and remind yourself of what it is, why you're doing this. Why is it that you're going against the grain? Why aren't you just doing what's most convenient and what's cheapest and all of those things that we see are easy? This will be a good reminder of why you're not doing that. Okay? So let's hit the first core principle. And lesson 1 will be your review for this core principle. Know what you want and know the score. And the score is defined as where you are in relationship to your goals right now. That's what the score is. You need to know where you are in your short-term goals. Those are the things that you have health needs right now. You need to get some things taken care of right now. Your long-term goals are those lifestyle things of what do you want happening in your health 10 to 20 years from now? That's what the long-term goals should look like. So you want to measure your success. Create a schedule of knowing the score related to your health goals and set specific intervals for remeasuring and reassessing those goals. Because your goals are probably going to change over time. Notice I did not say set deadlines for your goals. This is a very important point because I think this point is very contrary to what you hear a lot of gurus talk about. They say you set that number or you set that goal up and you put a deadline on it. Well, the problem with that is a lot of us can't tell the future. And even though we think we can hit a certain number by a certain time, what happens if we were wrong? What happens if our expectations were a little bit off and we set the bar a little bit too high? What if we don't hit that number by the certain amount of time that we set up? Is that a failure? No, because you were wrong in the first place. It never should have been set up that way. You just didn't know. So don't set a deadline for the goal. Set guidelines for when you're going to remeasure your progress. And then you can watch your intervals. And if you're not hitting the goals in what you feel is a reasonable amount of time, then you get to go back and say, why am I not accomplishing this? What have I not grabbed onto, and what am I not doing well in my lifestyle? Have I not gotten all the cosmetics out of my life that may be causing me extra toxicity? Have I not gotten the chemical cleaners out of my home that may be causing me issues? Am I still putting lotions and shampoos that are considered endocrine disruptors on my body every single day, and yet I want to get rid of excess body fat? You will always get results to the level in which you invest the time and effort. If you're only halfway doing this and you're kind of letting some things go, you have to understand that that's exactly the type of result you'll get. You'll get some results, but they'll be slow coming. It's okay if results are slow. It's okay if this is if you put this in motion step by step. That's perfectly fine. Just set up your intervals for reassessing those goals, and then make sure that you are on pace with your intervals. That way, if you're not on pace, you can pick up the pace and you can ask yourself, what am I not doing? Or what am I doing well? It's either way. You'll be able to go back and answer those questions. Okay? So measurements. These are the things for those of you who have goals around your body composition and what's going on with either body fat levels or lean tissue. Everyone should have goals of keeping their body at a safe size. It doesn't mean that you have to be a size 0. Obviously, I'm not. You can be extremely healthy and be above the national weight goal that's on the BMI chart. Measurements help to make sure that you know if your body is growing, if it's shrinking, or if it's staying the same. A scale will lie to you. Okay? A scale is not going to tell you anything that you need to know. Your gross weight, when I say gross, I don't mean gross. I mean your total weight of your blood, your tissue, your organs, your body fat, and your lean tissue. Most of you do not know what to do with that number on the scale. And you'll get absolutely freaked out if it moves by 1 pound or 2 pounds, one direction or another. You need to know that most people's weight fluctuates 5 pounds in a day, every 24 hours. If you weigh yourself in the morning right when you get up, and then weigh yourself before you go to bed, that number's going to change. Don't put that on the scale. Use measurements instead. Use body fat instead. If you have a health practitioner you work with who can help you measure body fat, get your body fat measured once a year, twice a year, something like that. It will help you immensely. So the points that we say to measure on your body are your mid-bicep, okay? The midpoint of your waist, which is right around your belly button. It'll always be the widest point of your waist. Do not measure your waist up here. There's still health professionals saying to take a waist measurement up here. This is not your waist. Most of us don't wear our pants up here. If you do, it's a fashion check, okay? Waist at midpoint, right around the belly button. Hip at the widest point of your hip, the widest point of your thigh. Or hip at widest point is actually your hip around your buttock, okay? Measure the booty. Keep track of it. Know where it's at. And then mid-thigh, okay? Largest point of your thigh. You need to know these measurements because you need to know if you're growing, shrinking, or staying the same. Even if you do not have health goals around the size of your body, it's good to keep these numbers around, and it's good to check them. Because if they start to move, you may not have had it on your radar, but you realize, oh my goodness, my measurements are going down. Oh yeah, I did just get that allergy situation taken care of. I went to my acupuncturist and we got some things figured out, and I eliminated dairy for a while and I got rid of gluten for a while, and I got that allergy thing taken care of. I didn't even realize it. I've lost a total of 5 inches and I didn't even try. These are the things that will happen, and these are the days that you can grab the bottle of champagne and celebrate. But you'd never know that if you didn't keep track. So know the score. And then if you can, have your body fat checked and know where your body fat level is. Always use the same method and always have it measured at the same time of day with the same method. It is very, very important. And I would actually say have the same person measure it as well. Eliminate as many variables as you can. Because the more variables you allow into the situation, the more the number can fluctuate. Okay? If you haven't taken pictures of yourself, I still recommend you do. If that's something you're not comfortable with, then that's just fine. You can use pictures of yourself in family photos or in family events, and you can watch yourself over the years and keep an eye on how things are looking. If you feel you look younger, if you feel you look more radiant. These types of things are important to take a look at, okay? Because how you look says a lot about what's going on inside as far as your health goes, okay? And then keep the weight number around for reference, just in case any of your health professionals ask about it. You'll be able to say, yeah, this is what I weighed last year, and I weigh myself once every 6 months or so. Again, weight is not going to be a terribly important number when you're measuring these other variables. So in the Measure Your Success section of your journals, it gives you an example of the different types of goals and things that you can have. Now, this isn't just for the measurements. As you can see here, this example has getting off asthma meds for this person. And then they used the progress section to actually identify, okay, I got at this time, at this date, I got down to a half dose. And then at this date, I got down to 1 dose every 3 days. And then this date, I'm completely off of that medication. And so that you can keep an eye on what you're doing. And you don't have to keep track of that all here, but that's one way that you can do it. Another goal here is switch to grass-fed meat. So the first section says, well, I got chicken. I got pastured chicken. Chicken isn't grass-fed. It has to have grain, and they eat rocks and things like that too to help their digestion. So pastured chicken. And then the next date, the person got their beef converted over to grass-fed from a local farmer. Okay? Any type of goal can be measured, and it's important to realize that. But you want to keep track of the things that you're working on. All of them, no matter how small you think they are. It's good to have them down and to look at them. Okay?